All right, hello everybody, and welcome to today's live, where we're going to be talking about why we resist. Oh, okay, sorry, we just got started. All right, so hello everyone, welcome to today's video, where we're going to be talking about why we resist small steps and continue to look for the answer over and over and over again, and seemingly then never find the answer, never get where we want to go, always feel like we're searching and seeking, and we're always on a quest, and we're always trying to heal, and we're always doing all this stuff, and we never seem to actually get there. We never seem to arrive. We never seem to find kind of like a peace, and we're constantly seeking, never finding, essentially. And this, I think, is something that I'm just going to talk about and talk about and talk about and talk about and talk about, because it's pervasive, and it's something I think we all need a reminder of often, and because the actual path of healing or transcendence or finding joy, finding better in this life tends to come with a lot of just the old Buddhist saying of chop wood, carry water. And we're not used to that, okay? Our culture and our way of life and the way that we've been trained to think about results and how we get results and what success looks like and how we heal and what healing looks like, we have been trained to believe that healing is supposed to happen like in a moment, that there's supposed to be a miracle, that there's supposed to be a shift, that there's supposed to be this big bang moment, and or something we discover, like it that takes us from our pain into pleasure forever. And I don't believe that capitalist culture started this, okay? I think it makes perfect sense that this is what humans desire. That it makes perfect sense that when we're in pain, that when we're struggling, that when we don't know why we're in pain and why we're struggling, when we are in a situation where we have dreams and desires and goals to get to a different place, to get to another place, of course, as human beings who are either in pain, so having an experience that we don't want, or are seeking something, so not having an experience that we do want, that of course we're going to want the fastest answer that's going to get us from where we are to where we want to be. We want the fastest thing out of pain. We want the fastest thing to pleasure. And I believe that, again, right, like it makes perfect sense that this is what we desire. It makes perfect sense that this would be what we would want reality to be, right? We want it to be that we can just discover a thing, that we can find an answer, that we can do a thing, and then live happily ever after, have our goal, be where we want to be. And it also makes sense that, especially if we're seeking getting out of pain that we've never had to seek before, right? Like if we're ill, if we're in relationship problems, if we're in financial problems, whatever it is that is our pain that we're experiencing, and we've never gone on a journey of getting out of what we're in and into something else, we don't know what the path is going to look like. We don't know all the steps that are going to have to take place between where we are and where we want to go. We're not aware of that journey because we've never taken it before. We've never seen it before. So of course, we're going to assume we already know how it's going to go. We already sort of have an idea of what the journey is going to be like. And from our position of where we are in pain, not where we want to be, not where we want to go, right? Never having had taken the journey, not knowing what the path is going to look like, from our simplistic at that point view of what's happening and view of reality, we're gonna assume it's not gonna be that big of a deal, that there should just be a thing that should take us from where we are to where we want to go, that there should just be a step, that there should just be one logical answer that takes us from where we are to where we want to go. And a lot of that is just because we're ignorant, and I don't mean that in an insult way, okay? I literally mean it in a, we could not possibly know what the path is going to look like. We could not possibly know what the steps between where we are and where we want to go are going to be, because we've never taken the journey. How could we know something like that? Yes? And again, a lot of the time, most of us look at our issues, our pain, our suffering, or the where we want to go, and again, from our current vantage point, we have a very simplistic understanding of it. We haven't really dug into all the different pieces and all the different things that are going to be, again, required to walk the path, because we won't be able to see all of those things. We won't be able to dig into all of that stuff. We won't have been able to have discovered all the things that are going to occur between where we are and where we want to go, and figuring out all the little pieces and all the little steps and all the little things that need to take place for us to get to where we want to go until we take the journey. You see? So of course, even if there was no media, even if there was no self-help industry, even if there was no spirituality industry telling us, you're right, you can just take the plant medicine, you can just find the healer, you can just do the session, you can just have the trauma healing thing, and once you find the answer, you will feel better. Even if none of that existed, even if there was no one telling us that, I think a lot of us, most of us, would still believe that that was how it was going to be. Because from our vantage point, how could we really know any different, right? And a lot of us, again, have never taken a journey yet to really get from a rock bottom or a deep pain into a, like, yeah, my life is like radically transformed now. Most of us in our lives, right, if we've gone on a journey like that, that I think is really the thing that retires us from believing that when we're in pain or when we have a thing we want to get to, that there's just going to be a thing that gets us there. Because once you've experienced it one time, like when you've experienced the, like, okay, it took me like 7 years, okay, it took me like 10 years, and it was this whole big Pandora's box that I had no idea about, right? When I first started, I had digestive issues, and I thought I was just going to heal my digestive issues, and then it turned out it was all this nervous system stuff and family stuff and trauma and, right, obviously speaking for myself here, and it was this whole huge thing that required every part of my life to change. And I had to see a lot of things that I didn't even know I didn't know that I didn't know. And I had to do a lot of things I didn't know were going to be a part of the path. And I remember for years, like, right, I'm just speaking from my personal experience, I started with, again, like, I don't feel good in my body. I feel sick, and I'm, like, depressed all the time. And I was looking for the diet that was going to heal me. Like, really, I just thought if I just found that diet, there has to be some diet that's going to heal me, and then I'll be fixed, and then I won't have stomach issues anymore, and I was looking for the spiritual path that was going to make me happy, that was going to make me likable, and which meditation should I do, and which prayers should I pray, and which spiritual line of spiritual whatever beliefs should I follow. Yeah. So can you share more about gut problems, depression, and trauma? Okay, again, are you looking for the answer? Right? Are you looking for me to tell you the answer of how I fixed it? Because this is what I want to say, right? Like, yes, there are going to be a whole bunch of little things that we discover along the path. Right? There's going to be a whole bunch of little things. you tweak this in your diet, you do this with your trauma, you do this, you do this, you do this, you find this tool, you do this tool. But the thing that I really want to get across here is what healed me, in the sense that I live a totally different life now. Okay? I still have health issues. I'm not perfectly healed. I'm not perfectly healthy. I may never be. Right? As I've gone on this path, I've discovered some of the things that are wrong with me might have been things I was born with that I'll never heal. Some of these things might be genetic. Some of these things, like autism, right? Like I'm not going to not become autistic. And these things predispose me to being hyper aware of things, and I get overstimulated easily and all of this stuff. But what I have discovered is, again, learning how to embrace the things about me that are the things about me. That these are the, accept the things you cannot change. And then how do I work with these things to build a life around them that supports me in this is just how I am. I'm never going to be an extrovert. I'm never going to be someone who can be doing one-on-one coaching all day because I get too overwhelmed. So I had to change my life in ways and ask myself not to do certain things and all these things, right? Likeable, yes, likability really hurts me. Exactly. So I've learned how to support the parts of me that were just never going to fit into culture, and I'm not going to change them, and I'm not going to become how most people want me to be as a spiritual teacher or as a whatever, the expectation that people put on me of what a good spiritual teacher is or what a good helper is or what a good spiritual person is. And I had to find my own path. And then there were some other things that were literally like, I discovered things about my health that I changed in my diet or I changed in my lifestyle, and it really did cause healing. And now I don't have the problems that I used to have. I don't struggle with the things I used to struggle with. I don't have the pain I used to have. And so it's a constant balance of realizing that, like, these big systemic issues, right? When we have big health issues, when we have depression, when we have anxiety, when we have these chronic, this is impeding my life stuff, what I really want to get across is that when we let go of looking for the answer, the thing that's going to fix us, okay? Because this is the big key. If you only watch up till the end of this sentence of this video and then you click away, this is what I want you to take away. We are afraid to let go of the answer, the thing that's going to fix us, the thing that's going to be the answer. That means we're no longer depressed, we're no longer anxious, we're no longer sick, we have perfect digestion now, we have perfect relationships, we've found the career path and we're on it now and we're just successful all the time, we have money, we're no longer struggling with that. You see, we found our passion, we found our purpose, we know what our alignment is, we've awakened to reality, we've had our enlightenment experience, whatever it is that we think we need to have before we can be happy and before we can be healthy and have a good life. When we let go of the idea that there is a thing, that there's a technique, a spiritual technique, a diet, a whatever, that fixes all of this stuff, and we'll know right away because it fixes it, right? Like, that's what we're all secretly looking for. We want the answer. You want someone who's saying, I'm not depressed anymore, to be like, okay, what did you do? We want to hear the protocol. We want to hear, okay, you say your digestion is better. What do you eat? Tell me your diet plan. Tell me your nervous system protocol. You see? And we're thinking that there's a thing that person did that we can just do. We can read it in a book. They can give it in a video. And that'll be the thing that heals us. Right? That's what we're expecting. That's what we're expecting the journey to be. That's what we're wanting it to be. That's what we're hoping it will be, because we're in pain and we don't want it to be a journey. We don't want there to be several steps. We don't want it to be complicated because we're in pain and we want to not be in pain and we just want to hear the thing that's going to make it better. And so at first, like when someone like me gets up here and says, we got to let that go, because that's not how it's going to be. It's never going to be that you find the thing, that you have the healing ceremony, that you have the plant medicine ceremony, that you find the medication, that you get on the diet, and then all your problems are solved. Right? When I get up here and say that, most of us hear, so then I'm just never going to feel better. Or it's going to be a long time until I feel better. That it's going to be all these steps and I'm not going to feel any better until I get to the end. And I don't know what all the steps are. You're not telling me what all the steps are. I asked you, tell me, what do you do about your depression? What do you do about your anxiety? What do you do about your digestion? And it's fine if you tell me there's 100 million things, but tell me all the things. And what I'm saying is, again, that's not how it's going to work. And I understand the disappointment and the fear and the heartbreak that comes from that, because it makes us feel like, well, then I have to figure it all out by myself. Like, why can't you just tell me? If you're saying you're better, you should be able to just tell me. Just tell me what you did, and I'll do it, and it'll make me better too. And I get it. And the thing is, again, I can give you my protocols, and I have. Like, this is the other thing. A lot of the time, people are like, tell me your secret. And I tell you, I developed self-love, which meant compassion and curiosity for everything that was happening for me. Everything I was feeling in my body, every depression, every thought, every anxiety, every emotion, everything I struggled with in life, all of my challenges, I showed up for all of them with curiosity and compassion. So having compassion for myself. There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me. Starting from that, I'm in pain. I may seemingly be causing harm to myself or others. I don't know why I'm depressed. I don't know why I'm anxious. I don't know why I'm in pain. But it's not my fault. There's not something wrong with me. I'm responding to something. Pain is a response to stimuli. If I'm in pain, I'm responding to a stimuli. If I'm depressed, I'm responding to a stimuli. If I'm anxious, I'm responding to a stimuli. I don't know what the stimuli is necessarily. I don't know what the stimuli means. I don't know what the emotions want me to do. But I'm showing up with compassion, first and foremost, and there is nothing wrong with me. I made myself my own safe place over and over and over again, 100 million times a day. Second thing, I got curious. Why does this hurt? What hurts? What hurts about this? Is it my thoughts about it? What do I believe about myself in this? What do I believe about the reality? What am I forcing myself to try to do that I can't do? What am I holding myself back from that I want to do? What are my beliefs around who I'm supposed to be? And every time I try and be that, it hurts. So what do I actually want? What do I actually need? Right? And deprogramming your conditioning is hard because it's the water we're swimming in. We don't even see it. We don't see our conditioning. Like Henry says, likability. It's such a big one for me. My lack of likability really hurts me in so many aspects of my life. Right? Like being culturally indoctrinated that we have to be likable by everybody and that this is what likable is. All of that is conditioning. But it seems so real to us. It seems so real because that's how it's always been. Like that's literally what we've been trained to believe our entire lives. We've never even considered that there might be another option. We've never even considered that this isn't just how reality is. Right? So continuing to question our own perceptions. These are the chop wood, carry water tools that I'm saying if you just continue to show up to everything that hurts and everything you want with self-compassion and then curiosity, it will blow your mind open. Slowly, surely, right? We never question it. And that's what keeps us in our loops. And then when we never question it, we're constantly searching for the thing that's within our view of what we already understand to fix our problems. And what I'm saying is, if you've been attempting to fix your problems already for a long time, and there's nothing in your view that has done it, you have to expand your view. The answer isn't in here. The thing, the next step, isn't in here. Because if it was, you would have found it by now. So if we're continually looking within our context of what we already know, and what we already believe, and what we've already assumed, that's how we know, okay, this isn't it. Okay? And the big fear that all of us have, like I said, when I say there is no answer, what we all actually are afraid of is, well, then I'll never figure it out. Because if I don't already know, if I don't already have access, and you're not going to tell me, I'll never be able to figure it out. Because if I don't already know, and if someone doesn't tell me, those are the only two ways of knowing something. That's the foundational core belief that all of us get stuck in. If I don't already know, and if someone can't just tell me, I'm never going to heal. So I'm just going to move on to the next teacher who tells me, oh yeah, no, don't worry, don't listen to her. It's not complicated. Here's the answer. I'll tell you the answer. You already have the answer. Don't worry, it's right here. It's already inside you. Right? Like, that's what we want to hear. You don't want to hear from me saying, you're going to have to learn something you've never learned before from reality. It's probably not going to come from a human. Or if it comes from a human, it's like literally not going to make sense to you until you've expanded your perception a little bit. Because that's the other thing, right? I tell you, those are the two things that I did over and over and over again. And most people are like, that doesn't make any sense. Because I know that you change your diet. I know that you develop, right? You talk about like nervous system protocols you did. I know that you moved to Asia. I know that you did all these different things. So just tell me that stuff. And I'm like, okay, but again, the way I figured out what diet things to do and when, what nervous system things to do and when, the way I figured out the steps to take and how to take them, the way I was brave enough to let go of being likable so that I could figure out who I actually was, go through my V for Vendetta process, and allow myself to go through that literal ego death of like, I'm not going to be liked. I'm not going to be who people wanted me to be, who I've been trying to be my whole life and killing myself trying to do it. I'm not going to be a good girl. I'm going to be a bad woman. Like all of these things, how I got there, how I figured it out, and then like I say, so then when the person came and said, try this, and I integrated it, it actually worked. Or I could listen to my own body and be like, okay, well, this just doesn't feel good. Like when I was earlier this year, when I discovered I had like histamine intolerance and all of this stuff, I was already like on the diet. Like I didn't have to do a whole bunch of things to make it super different to align with what I found out about myself, because I was already listening to my body and doing most of the things. And then it was just like, oh, that's why all of these things work and all of these things don't. That's why I had such this high craving for like vitamin C supplements. Like it was like weird shit that my body was like, I was already taking supplements specifically designed for people like me, through intuiting that those things felt the best thing for me. So what you do if you struggle with trusting yourself and your body? Exactly. This is my point. The way I figured it out, over time, incrementally, no answer that changed everything. Because again, the real journey is going to be an evolution. We're going to stack what we know, what's working, and then we do another little stack, and that's going to work more. And then we build on that, and then we find something, and then that didn't work, so put that away. And then we try something, and that doesn't work, so put that away. And then we try something, and we try something, and we stack it, and we stack it. And the only way I know all of the things I know at this point, like if you had come to me 10 years ago and told me to do the protocols that I'm doing now, 10 years ago, Allie, she wouldn't have been able to do it. She didn't have the requisite knowledge. She didn't have the requisite foundations. She did not have the strength and the lifestyle built and the container to be able to hold all of this, to be able to do all of these things that I can do now. I had to build it. I had to work up to it. What I'm doing now would not have worked for me 10 years ago. You see? Like, it would have been like I only had the foundations laid and people were bringing me paint samples. Okay, great. Maybe one day I will paint my house that color. But if I don't have a house, I haven't built a house yet. There's nothing to paint. So I have all the paints. They do me no good on just the foundation. I have to build the house first. Things go in order. The actual healing path, the actual unraveling path. So again, this is why I don't stand up here and say, this is what healed my trauma and this is what healed my digestion. Because it wasn't a thing. It wasn't any one thing. And any step that I had gotten that worked, as in gave me that little next step, only worked because it was in the right order. It was in the right, I had built the requisite foundations, and then I was ready for that step. And if I had gotten it sooner, I wouldn't have been able to do it. And this has happened. There have been times on my path where I've gotten things, gotten tools, gotten steps, gotten information that I couldn't implement no matter how much I tried. I just couldn't make myself do it. And then I let it go, went back to where I was, dealt with what I was actually ready to deal with, did the steps that were in front of me, and then I found myself one day, all of a sudden, naturally doing that thing I had been trying so hard to make myself do 2 years ago. And I wasn't trying. And I wasn't putting forth all this effort. It was the natural next thing. And then it worked. You see? So this is part of why I say it doesn't matter what I'm doing now. Me telling you the details of my life, it's almost completely irrelevant to you. I'm telling you the foundation of how you're going to figure it out. How you're going to learn to trust your body. How you're going to learn to dissect your emotions. How you're going to learn to question your perceptions. There isn't a thing. Compassion and curiosity over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Think of it again like this. If you come to me and you're like, I want to learn how to lift 100 pounds. I want to learn how to lift 100 pounds. I would say, okay, great. Let's do a strength test. Let's see how much you can lift right now. And you can lift 5 pounds right now. Does it matter how much technique I teach you? If I give you the perfect, all the tools, the weightlifting belt, the proper grip stuff, you got all the protein powder supplements and the affiliate links, and I tell you exactly how to do it perfectly with your body, will you then be able to lift 100 pounds? No. It literally doesn't matter. How much technique? How many tools? If you can only lift 5 pounds right now, your next step is lifting 10 pounds. And then after that, 20 pounds. And then after that, 30 pounds. So I'll teach you the technique. I'll teach you the perfect technique for how to lift 5 pounds properly. And the thing is, right, think about it. Are you going to change your technique at 50 pounds? Is there going to be some new thing you do at 70 pounds? Is there going to be now a whole new different way of doing it? A secret advanced move at 100 pounds? No. The dude lifting 100 pounds is doing the exact same motion as the dude lifting 5 pounds. Because it's not a secret. How we get to these advanced levels is we do the basics over and over and over again with slightly heavier weights. Okay, is this metaphor sinking in? Compassion and curiosity will look very different on someone who's practiced it for 10 years. Like the tools and the techniques and the things you're going to understand about yourself and how you're going to know how to break down your own reality and what level of understanding you're going to have of yourself and the problems that you have and the complexity of life and how much your mind has expanded when you've been doing this for 10 years is absolutely going to look advanced to someone who just started. But the motion is the exact same. It's just the person who's been practicing for 10 years has been building for 10 years, building on their awareness, building on, okay, this little thing. Okay, now I understand this about trauma. Okay, I processed this in my nervous system. Okay, now that's led me to being able to be aware of this and this and this and this, right? And especially with like anxiety and depression and our nervous systems. We have absolute clinical data on this right now. How many people do we know have gone on their ayahuasca plant medicine journey, have taken mushrooms, have done the Shaktipat, the cacao ceremony, whatever, and had their whole reality blasted in their face, had all their traumas blasted in their face, have had everything they need to become aware of, just like, here it all is. And then they've not been able to process it. They've not been able to do anything with it. They saw it all, and now they just feel completely overwhelmed. Okay? They got what most of us wanted. They just wanted to see the whole thing. They wanted to see the whole map. They wanted to see the end. And did it get them there any faster? No. And in a lot of ways and a lot of times, it actually is a stagnator. It slows you down. Because then you get obsessed with trying to be at the end. So again, you won't lift 10 pounds. You won't lift 20 pounds. You just stand there continually trying to lift 100 pounds, and all you do is injure yourself. Because you saw it. You saw the dude. You saw the guy. You found the 100-pound weight. Great. Let's just go lift it. Oh, God, I can't. Just keep trying. Just keep trying. Just keep trying. Yes, and we get re-traumatized. This is a huge thing. We blast it in our face. We don't have a container for it. We haven't built the muscles of compassion and curiosity to actually be able to love and support ourselves through these things, where we can see why we got hurt. We can hold and validate ourselves and our emotions. Like, we've practiced that. So when we come to our traumas, where the natural thing we want to do is reject ourselves and fix it and get rid of it, which is what re-traumatizes us. We get angry at ourselves. We get shame. We get guilt, instead of being able to say, okay, no, what actually happened here? What did I need? How was I misunderstood? Oh, wow, that wasn't my fault. Okay, this isn't something wrong with me. Okay, this is culture. What are they telling me I have to be? Why do I have to be that? Oh my God, I never even questioned that I could question that. That's blowing my mind. And now I'm really scared because I thought this was reality and now it isn't. And I need to be able to hold myself and get curious. And then, oh God, the thing that's going to heal me is I have to become this person that I now know everyone is going to hate. I have to do these things that my nervous system are literally going to freak out every single time. Okay, and now I build the muscles for being able to actually do the thing. and have my nervous system freak out and keep going anyways, and slowly over time train my nervous system that even if I get rejected and even if I make a mistake and even if it doesn't go how I wanted it to be, it's okay because I'm an adult. That stuff takes a long freaking time. Processing this stuff through our nervous system, because again, healing and transformation is not an intellectual process. The intellect is a part of it. We have to see it. We have to understand it. That's yeah. But that is not it. The body is slow. Integrating trauma, being able to become your own safe place and hold your own emotions before you even do anything about them. That's like a 2 or 3 year process. And then you slowly get to a place where you can act on what you really want. And then your nervous system is going to really freak out. And then you got to have the vessel to hold that. Right? And you're going to sabotage. You're going to shut yourself down. You're going to freak out when you do that. And you got to be able to hold yourself through that stuff. Compassion and curiosity, instead of blaming yourself and shaming yourself and going into a spiral over that. You got to be able to work with your nervous system. Love and accept yourself, even when others don't. And then process and cry and vent and get angry and cut off your parents for a while and do all these things. Like it's a whole big thing. Whatever you're going to do with your body, it's going to be a whole journey. There isn't a thing. And if we get the wrong step at the wrong time, it's not going to help. So learning how to trust yourself, learning how to feel for yourself what your next step is, learning how to take a step that you think is the next step, having it not go well, and learning how to clean up the mess and learn from it. That's a huge thing. That's the 20 pounds, the 30 pounds, the 40 pounds, the 50 pounds, the 60 pounds, the 70 pounds. You're doing the same motion, but you're incrementally increasing the weight. Each little step, you're getting closer and closer and closer and closer. So by the time you get to 100 pounds, you're prepared. You're ready. You're a totally different person. You're a totally different body than you were at 10 pounds. So again, I can blast version of you that can lift 10 pounds over to the 100-pound weight, and you can't do it. You're just going to hurt yourself. Not because you don't understand the technique. Not because you're dumb. Your body's not ready. You haven't trained. You haven't built the vessel. So, and then again, right, that huge fear is if it's going to be that, I don't want to do it because I don't want to be in pain for 10 years. I don't want to feel like this for another 15 years. And my promise to you is this. When you let go of the thing that makes it so that you can go from lifting 10 to lifting 100 pounds overnight, when you let go of that dream, you will start to find your next step. The actual next, your 20 pounds. And that is going to feel amazing. Lifting 20 pounds is going to be like revelation. It's going to feel like the best thing you've ever felt. You still have, yes, your goal is 100 pounds. Okay, cool, that's off there. But lifting 20 pounds when you could only lift 10 before is like, whoa, I did that. That's amazing. And then you're going to be able to lift 30 pounds and you're going to be like, this is amazing. This is amazing. This worked. Look at the progress I've made. 30-pound life is amazing. And then you're going to lift 40 pounds and your mind is going to be blown. This is what it actually feels like on the path. Every step you take feels so amazing compared to the phase you were in before. Okay, so again, I don't stand here saying I'm perfectly transcended and have no problems now. What I stand here saying is My life is so radically different where I am right now. You could not pay me to go be where I was 5 years ago. You could not pay me to go be where I was 10 years ago. But 5 years ago, my mind was blown by how amazing my life was. I had solved so many things. Life was so good compared to what it had been before. I still had shit. I still had stuff. I knew it. But it was like, this is so amazing. And 5 years before that, the first couple of steps I took, like literally going from eating cooked food to raw food, was like the most amazing thing that had ever happened to me. My whole life was still a complete disaster. Like, I was still living in my parents' home. I still had all my trauma I had no idea about. I was still in my original religion, living in Alberta, Canada. Like, right? Look at me now. And then think, okay, put this person where this life works for me. In rural Alberta, Christian household that literally just thought everything about me was a freak. No real food around, like literally no community. Everyone thought I was like literally a freak. And I felt amazing eating raw food. I was like, wow, this has like changed my life. The first time we moved to Vancouver. Like now, I could probably not survive if we moved back there. But when we first moved there, it was like the most amazing thing that had ever happened. And then by the time it was time to be over, I was like done with it. So like this is how this actually works. We take our next step, and our next step is going to open us up, okay, because this is how it, again, this is another thing that we all have to understand. When I say we don't understand what's actually going to heal us, we don't understand our problems, I hope that we take that as a relief. Because if you understood fully what you needed right now to heal, and everything about your trauma and everything about your situation, and you're doing everything you know to do and it's not working, that would be disheartening. That would be like, oh shit. Like if I have it all figured out, and this is how I feel, that means there isn't an answer that's going to make me feel better. Right? The good news is you don't know. There's a whole bunch of things you're not seeing, and that's why you're not there yet. And that's a good thing. That's good. Right? That means there's room to grow. The fact that you don't know it all right now means you're not going to be stuck in pain forever. There's more answers. Okay? And every step you take is going to open your mind to the next level of complexity you didn't know before. So again, this is why I say I'm not going to tell you all the things that I'm doing right now, because it would be incredibly overwhelming. If I had gone back, like, you know, those little, like, if you could go back and tell your 20-year-old self what you know now, what would you tell them? I wouldn't tell her anything. Because all I would have done is freaked her out. If I had told her all the things I know now, she would have been like, holy shit, I don't understand that. I can't do all of those things. What are you talking about? I don't even know half the things that you're even talking about. Like, I don't trauma. Right? If I had told her, you have a whole bunch of trauma, and you're going to have to cut your mother out of your life for 2 years, she would have been like, holy shit, no, I'll die. I was not ready. If I was like, you're going to have to do all of these things that you are horrified to do right now. And in fact, in order to heal, you're not going to fix these things about yourself. You have to accept them. 10 years ago, me would have been like, shoot me now then. I can't do it. It would have been so beyond my capacity to comprehend. so beyond my capacity to do anything about. Like I said, it would have just discouraged me, and I would have just been like, well, that's going to be way too hard. I can't do it. But how it really worked in reality was it was one step at a time, and it was overwhelming. Every phase was a little bit overwhelming. Every phase, like I said, everything I discovered, what I first discovered was like, oh shit, it's more complicated than I thought. This is the message I'm trying to get across. Right? From where we are right now, we think it's this. This is the level of complexity that it is. So this is the level of solution it should be. And if that's not working, that tells you, okay, it's probably more complex than this. And the first revelation you're going to get is like, oh, it's more complicated. There's way more pieces to this puzzle. Okay, so I expanded my view this much. I learned to deal with these things, which then takes me, that's increased my capacity, increased my intelligence, increased my awareness, which is going to feel better. I become more complex, more aware of all the moving parts and all the moving pieces, and able to do what I need to do about them. And then that will make room for your mind to expand a little bit more. And then you're going to see all these other pieces you had no idea about. And then you're going to deal with all that stuff. You're going to find practices and things that work for that. You're going to get in a groove. You're going to start feeling good. And then it's going to open your awareness to the next level. And you're going to be like, oh shit, it's even more complicated. But I'm ready for it. And I can do the next level. And I can do the next tool. And it's building and building and building. So again, if we blasted it all in your face right now, everything it's going to take, it would be too complicated. It would be like telling a grade oneer, here's your calculus homework. It doesn't work like that. We just teach them adding and subtraction in grade 1. And then when they get those basics down, we teach them multiplication. And then when we get those basics down, we teach them division. And then when they get those basics down, we can start teaching them like trigonometry and these more. If we literally just took every grade 1 student and tried to start teaching them calculus, would we have a whole bunch of like incredibly intelligent grade 2 students who can all do calculus? No. We'd have a whole bunch of grade 2 students who can't add and can't subtract because they didn't get to learn the basics. They didn't get to learn the fundamentals. They didn't get to incrementally go up in their awareness, and therefore they learned nothing. And this is what we have to understand. This is how it works. So I'm telling you, what did I do? Compassion and curiosity. I've given you all you need to figure out your path. So are there going to be other things that you integrate in? Yes. Are there going to be new things you learn along the way that you didn't know right now? Absolutely. Are you going to find a new tool and this technique, and then you're going to add this in, and then you're going to see what this works, and then that doesn't work, so we get rid of that, and then we try this, and then we let go of that, and all that. Yeah. And the whole way through, how you're going to figure all that stuff out is you're going to keep returning to compassion for yourself, for where you are. So I don't know how to trust my body right now. Compassion. It's okay that you don't know. It's okay. I see you. It's not your fault that you don't know how. You're not doing anything wrong. And really, of course you don't. And then maybe think like, what are all the reasons why I don't know how to trust my body? Is it because I just chose not to trust my body? Or is it because literally everyone for my entire life has been teaching me not to trust my body? Medicine has told me it's wrong. The spirituality world has told me it's wrong. My parents have told me it's wrong and shameful. My religion has shamed me. Oh. Literally my entire culture has indoctrinated me to never trust my emotions and never trust my body. To always outsource. Yeah, totally not my fault. I have no reason to be upset with myself for that. And then can I get a little bit curious? And then this tool, please integrate this tool. I'm going to attempt to trust my body. So I'm going to feel what it feels like to feel an emotion. I'm going to feel this or that. And then I'm going to come up with a concept of what I should do about it, because that's how humans work. And then I'm going to act on it, right? Just see what happens. And if it doesn't go how I thought it would go, that doesn't mean I can't trust myself. That doesn't mean I can't listen to myself. That doesn't mean I'm hopeless. If it doesn't go how I thought it would go, what did I learn? That's it. Just what did I learn? What did I think would happen? What actually happened? Okay. So now I know that when I feel like that, it's not that. So that's great. I can eliminate an option. And I did a thing, and I got a result. So that's information I can use. So then I'm going to go in, and I'm going to feel again. I'm going to try something else, and I'm going to see how that goes. Maybe it goes a little bit closer to how I thought it would go this time. Cool. Okay, so what did I learn? Right? We learn how to trust our bodies and our emotions through trial and error. And when there's error, that doesn't mean we can't trust ourselves. It means we ask ourselves, what did I learn? Okay, what did that show me? You see? We start to have the learner's mindset instead of the pass or fail mindset. When we let go of ultimate answer, we also let go of pass and fail. Life is just about figuring it out as we go. We can learn from absolutely everything. Everything can be a right step, because every step teaches us something. Every step has information. If it doesn't work, what did you learn? If it does work but not how you thought, what did you learn? Right? We have to get out of the cognitive bias of, I'm going to try this. If it doesn't go how I thought it was supposed to go, I deny it, or I shame myself and assume I can't trust me. If it doesn't go how you thought it was going to go, you just learned something. And then you're practicing learning from reality, which is how you're going to figure everything out. That's how I figured it out. I just tried a bunch of stuff. If it worked, I kept it. If it didn't work, I learned from it. What didn't work about that? What hurt about that? What did I learn from there? Okay, and how can that inform my next step? When I was wrong, I celebrated that. I learned how to be like, okay, cool, I was wrong. So what did I learn? Compassion, curiosity. What did I learn? Why didn't that work? What hurt about that? What did I just learn about reality that I didn't know before? And then you will start to realize you can learn from reality yourself. You can get to the point where you'll read the article about all the supplements you should be taking when you have this, and you'll be like, I was already taking all of those. Because I tried them, and they felt good. Because, like, again, how did any other human figure anything out? They tried it, and they got a good result. That's how they know. You have access to that, too. Does it work? Is it giving you the results you want? And then this is the thing, right? We're all afraid because we think, again, a lot of these things take time before we're going to see results. We have to practice it for a while before we really know. So this is the other thing about letting go of the answer that fixes everything. I want you to just start to practice this. If something makes sense to you and resonates with you as a thing, the next step on your path, and you start trying it and it doesn't miraculously change your life overnight, give it time. Commit to it for 6 months. See what happens when you don't give up after 2 or 3 weeks. Commit to it. Like, just commit to it. Let yourself get bored. Let yourself stop searching for the next thing. Just for 6 months. Just for 2 months. Right? And I know we're all afraid we're going to miss the thing. You're not going to miss the thing. I promise you're not going to miss the thing. Commit to it. Like everyone's like, how did you learn to be so good at yoga? I practiced for 14 years. Like really, like it's pulling back the curtain on people who have done all these transformations in their lives. You're already doing most of the things they did. They just did it longer. You probably already know. Most people out there probably already know more about trauma than I do. More about diet and nutrition and biochemistry than I ever will. Scientifically, you all have probably read more blogs and listened to more teachers and all these things than I ever have. The only reason I'm getting results is because I just did it for a long time. I just did it over and over and over and over again until it got really boring, and then I kept doing it. And it's working because I've done it for so long. I was the dude who was just in the gym every day lifting weights. Everyone else was trying the new thing, and then that new class, and then this new training, and then that new thing, and then this new supplement, and then, oh, you don't even have to work out. You can just do this, and da-da-da. And I was just there lifting weights every day. And now I can lift 100 pounds. Everyone else is very well studied and very well researched, and they know all these things, and they've tried all these different techniques, and they're still at 30 pounds. And it's not because there's something better about me. I'm not special. There's literally nothing about me that's better than anyone else. I'm not smarter than you, I promise. I'm not more spiritual. I'm not more tapped in. I don't have any special gifts other than I just decided I was going to learn from reality, and I was going to stick stuff out. If it seemed like it was like something, and I didn't expect overnight results. I didn't expect what I was doing to fix me. If it made things a little bit better, I committed to it. And I committed to it until I could stack something on top of it. Like I've essentially been doing the same thing for the last 10 years. It's just more complex now. But I haven't like shifted. Like I haven't like changed into something totally else. I learned compassion and curiosity for myself in my parents' bedroom when I was like 13. That was the foundation. I could question reality and I could figure things out. That was it. Like I'm still doing that now. That's how I got here. Just like 20 years of that. I found raw foods, and that's it. I'm still doing that. But not in any like special, extreme, like blah, blah, blah way. And again, I don't think that that's what everyone needs to be doing. I don't think raw foods is why I'm here. I'm not evangelical about it. Because I don't think it's the answer for everyone. It was just the thing that was right for me. Because of like, and like I say, now I know why. Like all of the things that are genetically weird about me and all this stuff, this is the right path for me. But I don't think it's the right path for everybody. I don't think the thing, you see? And like what I specifically did about my specific traumas. Those specific things are not generally what everyone should do. Like moving to Asia is not what everyone should do. It was very specifically what I needed to do. But I'm giving you the tools to figure out how I figured out what I'm doing. Because your path is going to be your thing. The diet stuff that's going to work for you isn't going to be the same thing that worked for me. It's not going to be the same journey I took. You finding your right career path and your right partner and your right way of relating and what you need, all of that specifics is going to be unique to you. And lots of different people will tell you lots of different things that are going to work for you and not work for you, but mostly you're going to find it from reality. You're going to keep having compassion for yourself, assuming there's nothing wrong with you, What am I feeling? What do I think it means? Okay, let's try that. Let's see how it goes. If it goes great, good. If it doesn't, what did I learn? And then stacking habits of things that work. And then when things don't work, just let it go. What did I learn? And then let it go, try something else. You're allowed to try stuff and quit. If it's not working, quit. If it's making it worse, quit. If it's not healing it, making everything perfect, but it's like a little bit better than it was before, stick with it. Don't give up. If it's a little bit better, stick with it. You will build on it. But you gotta get solid at 20 pounds. If it's making things a little bit better, stick with it. Don't give up. When you're ready to stack, you'll see the next thing that will build on what you're doing. It won't be a whole new different thing. It won't be a whole transition. It'll be the next logical step. And then you'll get solid at that. And then you'll see another little step you can take that builds on it, right? So that's what I'm saying. Fundamentally, I'm still doing the exact same shit I was doing 20 years ago. Fundamentally, if you boil it down to what am I doing? Compassion and curiosity. Listening to my body, listening to my emotions. It looks radically different now than it did 10 years ago. And each step was just something that felt a little bit better. And then I just stuck with it and 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 stuck with it until I could build on it. I've never thrown it all out and started a new thing. It was just building on the things that already worked. That's how I got here. So I really want that to be my message today. If something is making it a little bit better, accept that that's your step right now. Milk it. Work it. Do not give up. Stick with it until you can build on it. Until the next level of complexity is revealed to you. It's a little bit overwhelming. And that's okay. You can deal with it. You can learn. Compassion and curiosity. Those are the foundations. What am I feeling? Why am I feeling it? Can I have compassion for myself? Can I have curiosity around this? Because there's going to be a whole bunch of things you don't even know you don't know. Breaking your own perception open is not easy. So we have to do it over and over and over again. Okay, do we have any questions before we wrap up here? But I hope that this was refreshing. It's a lot of just repetition. It's a lot of just learning to learn from reality. Letting go of. There's going to be a thing. Letting go of doing it right and wrong. And saying it's just steps. It's just phases. It's just one thing at a time. It's stacking. It's if stuff doesn't go how I thought it would go, what did I learn? If it does make things a little bit better, stick with it. Is it depression sabotage? Is what depression sabotage? Like giving up on ourselves? I don't know that it's sabotage. But it's just because we think there should be a thing that fixes it. And I think we just have to accept that that's not how it's going to be. And then we have to let ourselves, grieve that. And then understand that that doesn't mean we're going to be in pain the whole time. Every step is going to feel better. Every step feels a little bit better than the step before. And we just work it and work it and work it. Okay? Okay. So that's how it's going to go. There's a whole several layers of complexity you don't even see right now, and you wouldn't even want to. Be in your step, be in your phase, work your thing. It's not everything, but it's the thing right now. And you learn from it, and you learn from it until something else comes into your awareness, and you add it in, see how it goes. If it makes it a little bit better, keep adding it in. If it makes it a little bit worse, what did you learn? Move on. Stacking things. Opening awareness. More and more complex, more and more capable. Vessel building. Okay? Okay. So that's that. Thank you for listening. Have an awesome week. I'll see you next week. And that's all. Bye-bye.